Welcome back to Red's Reviews, and today I'm talking about my top 10 favorite self-defense styled knives. Now, self-defense, something I absolutely love. I love the style of self-defense knives. I love the versatility, and I love the usefulness. I've been in a couple scrapes in my life, and having these kinds of tools elevate everything to a phenomenal level of you getting out safe back to your family in a good situation. First off, beloved on the channel is my Bradford Guardian 3.5. This thing is an absolute beast with the micarta handles, the black blade. I typically go for a satin blade, but this thing's so wickedly cool. Gotta have it. This thing's super comfortable for stabbing and slicing. It's got the nice ramp for your finger, so you don't have to worry about stabbing into somebody, hitting a rib or something, and sliding up on the blade and slicing open your hand. It's the fucking worst. Also, super comfortable in a reverse grip for throwing punches and jabbing down on somebody. And I really love this sheath. People on the channel know I love this fucking sheath that it comes with. Once you wet form it, it holds tight, and it's a cross carry. You can carry it either side. It originally comes to be carried on your belt like this, but I prefer it like this. And why this is nice is I can get to it with my left hand or my right hand to deploy and use. Super easy to conceal underneath a shirt, and nobody knows you got this big old fixed blade. What's nice about a fixed blade is it's not going to fold on you, it's not going to break on you. This is a full tang blade, and it's just going to keep asking for more. If I know I'm going to be in a situation that I might have to use this, this is normally my go-to knife. And it's also super useful in the mountains, cutting up food, whatever, opening packages. A very useful tool. And that's something I always keep in mind. Yeah, I have a pocket knife and a Leatherman that I'll use to open packages and stuff like that. But it's always nice having a sharp tool on you when you need it. And also great for self-defense. I have a full video on the Bradford Guardian 3.5, 3.2, 3 point, or I guess it's just called the 3. So you can figure out which one you like. My personal opinion, I love the 3.5 and the 3.2. Now, the only knife handle I enjoy on this table more than this Bradford Guardian is the Essie Azula 2. This has seen some action. This thing's about 2 years old, or 2 years old, 8 years old. And you can see I got a little leather wrap around there, and this blade has seen it all, done it all. I've bushcrafted with this, I've cleaned game with this, I've skinned with it, I've been in an altercation with it. This is one of the best knives ever. The micarta that SE does is my absolute favorite. It just wears so perfectly. It's super grippy and comfortable. These are fucking cheap. Easy to get your hand on. It comes with this plastic sheath. There's aftermarket leather, Kydex, whatever you want. The aftermarket for this is awesome. The handles, you can customize it whatever way you want. But the sheath that it comes with a metal clip. I have it on another knife right now. But it sits about this high on your belt, so it's easily concealed. It's super lightweight. You can use it as a pocket carry or a belt carry or on a lanyard. A million different options. If you're looking at getting a small EDC fixed blade, this is my number one recommendation. Not just for self-defense, but for everything. You can carry this everywhere, have it on you at any time, and it is a fucking awesome blade to have. I think everybody should have the Essie Azula 2. Now, I say the 2 because the Essie Azula, just the original, the handle's not as big, and I love the bigger handle. It's super comfortable in my fist. It's got that ramp so my finger doesn't go up. It's just the best handle. It great for hammer grip. I can get my thumb on. You can see the Bradford Guardian 3.5 and the Essie Azula have a lot of similar shape and look to them. But something about the Essie Azula, it just fits my hand better. It's more comfortable. I love the blade. I have the blade polished and sharpened, and it's so easy to sharpen and maintain. Love the Essie Azula too. Highly recommend. I think everybody should have one. Now, my go-to, I recommend to every single person for a self-defense knife is my Benchmade Sock P. This is the Sock P Mini. I have like 6 different variations of it, from the EMT tool to the trainer to the mini to the version 1 to the version 3. And it's got this little ring right there. So it's kind of like a karambit ring, just a little dagger blade. Not very good for cutting open packages or doing anything else. This is a dedicated fighting blade and self-defense blade. Super easy for stabbing, maintaining, flipping around, being a cool guy. But it's so thin that while this is in your hand, you can also draw your pistol and hold your pistol and fire your pistol while holding the knife. So if you're in a situation where somebody's very close to you and you need to make space to get to your firearm so you're not wrestling somebody for your firearm, pulling this out, giving them a slash and a good poke, making them get away from you so you can draw your firearm is super awesome. I've taken this out on the range and drawn my firearm. I did kind of poke my stomach, but that was more user error than anything. It wasn't anything serious or bad. Now, Benchmade, if you know Benchmade, these things are more expensive than they really should be. There's a lot of different companies that do a variation and something close to this. I have this laser engraved that says Never Stop with a skull for Never Stop Fighting. I typically use this as like a boot knife, as like a last ditch effort. I'm down on the ground, I'm covered up, for some reason I can't get to anything else. I can reach down into my boot, pop this open. But the reason I recommend it to everybody is it's got this nice little clip right here on the sheath that it comes with. And you can clip this onto a bra strap, inside of a waistband. You can clip it onto anything and pull out your knife and carry it, so you don't have to have a pocket or belt to carry this knife. I recommend it to women a lot. I recommend this knife to women a lot because if you're wearing leggings a lot, or your pockets aren't big enough, or you're not going to be wearing a belt, this can clip onto any piece of fabric material. I've clipped it onto swimming shorts a few times, and I've clipped it onto my underwear going into the gym, and my sweats can't hold it up. Super easy, super lightweight, always have it on you, and it's a great fucking tool. You can also carry it as a neck knife. However you want to carry this, this will do it. And that's why it's such a high recommendation on my list. That's the Benchmade Sock P, SOCP. Greg Thompson makes some great stuff. Watch some videos on it if you're interested. Another one is I love karambits. This has actually been my favorite karambit. I picked this up on Amazon for like $20. Double-edged little, comes with a Kydex sheath. I have an Ulti clip on it. Kind of the same deal. I just clip it onto whatever, and it's a little make space blade. Go for punches, stabs, jabs, whatever I need, whenever I need it. Great tool for self-defense. If you're going to be messing around with a karambit, definitely try and get some training. But what I like about this is the shape of it. In the reverse grip, the way it's designed is it stays in your hand, So if you open up your hand, your knife's still there. You can flip it open and get a little more reach for it, flip it back, and you have back cuts with the reverse blade, so you can cut any which way. If somebody grabs you, you can pull up, cut their arm, cut their face, and it's basic mechanics for throwing a punch, and then you've got a blade. Super easy for anybody to use or try, and you don't have to have a whole lot of knife training. I recommend you get it, but if you just know how to box, this is going to make it a lot easier, and you have that ring in the front for popping somebody in the face. I love karambits. There's a million different karambits out there. Doug Micarta, Micarta, something. Sorry, brother. I'm horrible with names, but he makes some really awesome karambits. I'm not the biggest fan of folding knives for self-defense, but they do have their place. And if I could pick one, it's this guy right here. This is a Spyderco that I threw a karambit D-ring onto, and it's got the Emerson wave, so when you pull it out of your pocket, it opens the blade. And look at that fucking wicked blade. It's fully serrated, and the swoops in the blade are so when you catch somebody with it and pull it back, or they pull away from you, it's going to catch on this part of the blade and slice them open. The worst cut I have ever given myself, with all the times I mess with knives, I very rarely cut myself. This has given me the worst cut of my entire life. These serrations from Spyderco are next level, wicked, mean. And this knife is, I mean, if I see a guy pull this shit out, I'm fucking running the other way. I do not want to be cut by this thing again. And if somebody's coming at you with this, I mean, you've got a serious fucking problem on your hands. So if I'm carrying a folding knife for self-defense, this is going to be my top pick, or Cold Steel. Cold Steel makes some of the most badass big folding knives. This one is called the Counterpoint XL. I have a bunch of different Cold Steels. I've given away probably 1,000 Cold Steels. I love them. And it's a pocket knife that you wouldn't believe it, but this thing fits in your pocket just fine. And it is a hunk of fucking fighting steel. I mean, if I wanted to carry a fixed blade this big, it would have to be inside the pants or hanging from my pants, and everybody knows I got it. This thing slips down into my pocket, you can't even tell. Like, this giant fucking blade, bigger than my fucking head, just pops into my pocket and you can't tell. Like, that is absolutely insane, and Cold Steel just has a way of making badass folding self-defense knives. I highly recommend looking up Greg Thompson videos. They do a lot of hardcore tests on their triad locks so they don't break on you and you can rely on them, and they do a bunch of destruction tests on their channels and everything. They are knives I fully can depend on and trust my life on, and they feel fucking cool. I mean, if I'm gonna get into a fight and I whip out this big motherfucker, I feel like not Davy Jones, Crocodile Dundee, you know? Some guy pops out a little knife and I go, that's not a knife. This is a knife. You know what I mean? It's badass, it's cool, and they're fun knives to play around with. If you've never held one of these big Cold Steels, fucking buy one. You gotta try them out. They are sick, man. I can't get over them. It's like that childish part of my brain that just wants to carry a sword around, and they make it possible. Love Cold Steel. Love the stuff they do. Another knife that I love for self-defense, mainly for the sound and the action. And for a folding knife with an OTF knife, if you stab somebody and something goes wrong, the blade's not closing on your fingers. It's going back into the handle, so you don't ever have to worry about cutting yourself. And it's also kind of that scare factor, kind of like people say with a shotgun, you rack the shotgun and somebody goes running away. Kind of same thing. Somebody's talking to you, running their fucking mouth and shit, and you pop this shit out and you're like, alright, let's fucking get it then. People are going to think twice, or he's going to get cut the fuck up. This is the Hogue OTF. It's the Elschwitz CPM 154 Hogue OTF. I don't know. I love this thing. It's been in a bunch of videos. It's badass. I love the hell out of it. Also, with that same concept, I do love a good automatic knife. This is a little buck automatic knife. I love these buck knives. An automatic knife kind of has the same factor. The only thing I don't really love is if something happens, that blade is coming in on your fingers. So not my favorite option, but if you can't get an OTF because they do tend to run a little more on the pricey side, but you want something automatic to hurry and pop open, this is a great deal. There's a million different companies doing automatic knives. Just get a reputable one that you can trust. And last, but definitely not least, one of my favorite self-defense knives, and you're going to think I'm fucking joking, but a Swiss Army knife. Now, Swiss Army knives are not tactical, survival, anything like that, but the amount of altercations I've had and used a Swiss Army knife is insane. Now, the blades on these are non-locking, so I don't recommend using the blade for self-defense unless you're just going to be like cutting somebody up, but you always have the possibility of that falling on your fingers. Swiss Army does have locking knives. I have locking Swiss Army knives. But this is an unassuming knife that you can pull out on a bus or in public to cut something open, and nobody really looks weird about it. This one has some brass scales that I did on it, so it adds a lot of weight to it for throwing punches and opening up. But the thing I always tell people is get a Swiss Army knife that has a corkscrew and a leather awl. These pointy little protrusions right there, and they fit absolutely perfectly in my fist as two little pointy objects that I can pop somebody in the face and they're going to know I fucking hit them, and they're going to probably have some cuts and some scratches. And especially if you get somebody in the head and they start bleeding and having blood run down in their face and cover their eyes, they're going to want to stop fighting. And this is also going to help you in a situation if the cops show up and you have this giant cold steel and you just stabbed and gutted some dude up, it's going to be hard for you in court because you had a giant knife and all that. Everybody can have a Swiss Army knife on them, and you didn't even use the knife part. That can help you out a lot in the courtroom if it does come to that. And having a little lanyard on there, something you can just pop and flick at somebody's face, especially with these brass scales. Oh, that's going to hurt somebody. And you also have the blade if it's your last ditch option. I definitely recommend just popping it down, having it in a reverse grip, and going for boxing slices and trying to cut open their face with the blade. I wouldn't try stabbing or anything like that because you're more than likely going to drop that blade on your finger. And I think about every kid who was in the Boy Scouts or has messed around with a Swiss Army knife knows and has a scar on their finger to tell the tale of when they dropped a Swiss Army knife blade on their hand. But altogether, guys, those are my top 10 self-defense knives. I hope you guys liked it. Go out there, get lost, find yourself. See you in the next one. Oh, wait. Hold on. Don't go. Drop down in the comment what your favorite self-defense knife is and why it's your favorite. I want to check those out. All right, see ya.